Japan. It's a place of opposites, a really old culture that loves new technology, a place with strict rules but also surprisingly flexible. To get Japan, you've got to start with where it is. Japan is a bunch of islands, over 6,800 of them. They're lined up along the coast of Asia like a pearl necklace. And like pearls, they're beautiful, but also far away from everything else. This being so isolated has shaped Japan in big ways. It's given the Japanese a strong sense of who they are. They are their own people. Unique. Special. This feeling of being special is deep inside the Japanese way of thinking. You see it in their art, their culture, their food. But being isolated also meant being closed off. For hundreds of years, Japan was cut off from everyone else. This choice to be alone had a big impact on how Japanese culture grew. It let Japan develop its own special traditions and customs. Traditions that are still around today. You can't talk about Japan without talking about the ocean. The ocean gives the Japanese food and lets them trade with others, but it also brings danger, like big storms and tsunamis. This two-sided relationship shows up in Japanese culture. The ocean is both something they respect and something they fear. To really understand Japan, you have to talk about its big neighbor, China. China's influence on Japan is everywhere. It's in the art, the buildings, the food, heck, even the language. The Japanese language is super interesting. It's a mix of languages, borrowing a lot from Chinese. Actually, Japanese writing uses Chinese characters called kanji. But it's not just the words. The way Japanese is put together is influenced by Chinese too. But Japan didn't just copy China. They took those Chinese influences and made them their own. It's like taking your grandma's recipe and adding your own special ingredient. The result is something you know, but also totally different. The relationship between China and Japan hasn't always been friendly. There have been wars and tough competition, but even with all that, there's a respect. They know that even though they are different, their history, location, and future are connected. Imagine a country closing its doors for over 200 years, no one in, no one out. That's what Japan did during the Edo period, from 1603 to 1868. It's like hitting the pause button on a country. But things didn't really stop. Cut off from everyone else, Japan focused on itself. This was a time of amazing art and culture. Think beautiful woodblock prints, kabuki theater, and samurai warriors. All those things we think of as Japanese, they grew during this time. But like a plant that doesn't get enough sun, this isolation had a downside. Japan fell behind everyone else in technology and military strength. When Japan finally opened up again, it was stuck between two worlds. The old world of samurai and shoguns and the new world of factories and empires. We all know how World War II ended for Japan. 2 atomic bombs, a destroyed country, and a very uncertain future. But what happened next is amazing. Japan came back stronger than ever, becoming a super rich country. How did they do it? Hard work, definitely, but also a big focus on education, technology, and new ideas. They embraced the modern world, but kept their traditions. They became the best at efficiency, quality, and, let's be honest, being a little quirky. Today, Japan is a place of contrasts. Old temples next to giant skyscrapers, businessmen in suits next to geishas in fancy clothes. It's a country that loves its past while running toward the future. And that, my friends, is what makes Japan so interesting.